Oh, hello. Welcome to another exercise in reading lore. And it's a special episode this time because in the past I've done franchises like Kingdom Hearts and Mortal Kombat and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all of which I already vaguely knew things about. But on this occasion, I've been given the lore for something I know nothing about whatsoever, namely Bionicle. All I know about that is that it's some kind of Lego thing. And this particular lore document has been compiled for us by Jack Packard, so you know who to blame. Bionicle is a line of Lego sets from roughly 2001 to 2010 that meld together the building and customization of Lego and the playability of action figures. Instead of using typical Lego bricks, Bionicles use Technic-style pieces to form humanoid robot body parts. Besides the instructions for the buildable sets, Bionicle lore is found in books, comic books, animated movies, and video games. Man, how did I get this far in life knowing nothing about this? With 30 books, over 60 comic books, a short TV series, 5 video games, and 4 animated films, there's a lot of Bionicle lore. I feel like 60 comic books isn't that much. I mean, I'm pretty sure Deadpool is in 60 comic books in any given month.
Discover their skills. Use their masks. Bionicle. Find the power. Live the legend.
In a time before time, a god spirit Matanoui created a mechanical race of beings called the Mataran and bestowed upon them an island home and the great gifts of 3 virtues: unity, duty, and destiny. So that's 1 game engine, 1 live service game franchise, and duty on the end. How is destiny a virtue? Oh, you have the virtue of having your fate mapped out. It's not really a virtue because you don't have to do anything for it. Unity and duty are virtues because you have to do something to be virtuous. You don't need to do anything to have a destiny. This fucking thing has a destiny. Its destiny is over there. As thanks, the Mataron named their island home Matanoui, which was the name of the god spirit. Well, that's the least they could do, I suppose. Matanoui, the spirit, not the island, had a brother called Makuta, who was envious of the gifts given to the Mataran and cast a spell putting Matanoui, the spirit, in a deep slumber. Then Makuta was free to spread his evil influence all over Matanoui, the island. Very good strategic use of parentheticals, Jack. But legends say that 6 heroes, the Toa, will one day rise to power and put an end to Makuta's dark shadow. Now this reads like Pacific Island mythology, not something to do with little plastic toys that get stuck in your feet. On Matanoui, the island, the Mataran are divided into 6 villages. Gakoro, the village of water. You know what, I've just had a horrible sense, I can tell where this is going. Gakoro is led by the elder Turaga no Kama, the only female village elder. Takoro, the village of fire, led by Turaga Vakama, about whom there is nothing of interest to say. Lekoro, the village of air, under leadership of the elder Turaga Matau. Kokoro, the village of ice. Look, we're doing elements. Ice is just water. Don't listen to Pokemon. And apparently that one doesn't have an elder, possibly because that would be a little bit redundant. On Okoro, the Earth village is built in a large cave at the centre of a network of tunnels. Due to these tunnels that connect the villages, Onokuro is the economic centre of the island and is led by Turaga Wenua. Well, I'm glad we cleared up which village was the economic centre. Do you ever think these villagers feel a little pressured to live up to their element? Oh, we've got to build our village in a cave. I mean, is the village of air built up in the sky? I don't think it holds up to that much scrutiny. And Porkoro, the village of stone, specifically not earth, but stone, is led by Turaga Onewa. I think there's a note of sarcasm there, Jack, but earth is quite different to stone. Try planting a seed in a stone one of these days. You'll notice that each village has a strong elemental theme. Yes, I did notice that, Jack. And each Toa of legend also has an elemental power. Pretty cool, right? Well, if that's all it takes to make us cool, then we are officially as cool as Captain Planet right now, Jack. Makuta's plan is to spread his darkness through the animals of Matanoui. I'm sorry, what is he planning to do to the animals? Spread his darkness? I've never heard it called that before. And turn them into twisted creatures known as the Rahi.
In the quest for the masks of power, the Toa must face Kane Ra, the blows of Terakala, and the mighty Manas. Bionicle, find the power.
The Mataran, who once lived in harmony with nature, now struggle to keep safe amongst the attacks of the Rahi. One day, 6 mysterious pods washed ashore on Matanoui, the island. Yes, the word ashore sort of clued me in that time, Jack. Inside the vessels were the Toa Mata, aka the Toa, the heroes of prophecy. Much larger in size than the Mataron, and each with an elemental sway and a cool weapon. Well, that's convenient. Tahu, Toa of fire. He has a fire sword, a short temper, and is the leader. Is there any example of, like, a fire person in an elemental team-up who is actually very level-headed? I have a feeling there'll be a lot of Avatar The Last Airbender fans in the comments. Gali, Toa of water, wise, calm, and has to steal hooks. And has to steal hooks. S-T-E-E-L hooks. So he's not saying that she has to filch hooks from their rightful owners. Oh, has 2 steel hooks. Oh, it's the 2. We missed out the W. Took me a second. Onua, Toa of earth, the strong one. Again, is there any elemental of earth that isn't the... You know what I mean. Liwa, Toa of air, the goofy one. Well, I wouldn't have called that. I mean, what is the goofiest of the elements, would you think? If you had to pick one. I guess fire's pretty goofy. Like, if you burn down your house, you might say, "Doop, silly me." Kopaka, Toa of ice, the real loner type, the cool one. Oh, I get it, because he's emotionally cold as well. Wow, yeah, really pushing the boat out here. Pohatu, Toa of stone, played soccer, like that was his power. He didn't have a weapon, he just kicked things hard. I think he was also fast. Okay, the person who is made of stone is fast. Didn't see that one coming. You defied expectations there, Bionicle. Well done. The Toa didn't have any memory of why they were in Matanoui, the island, so the elders of each village told them the story of Matanoui, the spirit. After hearing all these tales and having an innate sense of duty, the Toa agreed to fight Makuta's forces, freeing Matanoui, the island, and in doing so, waking Matanoui, the spirit. The Toa must find the Kanohi. Oh, more names, fucking hell. The Kanohi, which are golden masks of great power. The Toa can use the Kanohi to amplify their own inherent elemental powers, all sold separately, I'm sure. For example, Gali is the Toa of water, and therefore can swim really well. Her golden mask gives her the ability to breathe underwater. But, it should be noted that using the masks is very tiring for the Toa, so they can't just keep them on forever. Also, each mask has its own name. Kopaka found the Kanohi Akaku, the mask of X-ray vision. Okay, Kopaka was the ice dude. Ice, X-ray vision. If you're kidnapped by ice, they might X-ray your baggage. Pohatu found the Kanohi Kakama, the mask of speed. Yep, he was the fast one who played soccer. Gali has the Kanohi Kakao, the mask of water breathing, because he's the water one. Tahu found the Kanohi Hao, the mask of shielding. Yep, because he's the god of fire, and you have to have shielding around your fire if you plan to cook on it. Anoa has the Kanohi Pakari, the mask of strength. Yes, he was earth. He was the strong one. And finally we have Lewa has the Kanohi Miru, the mask of levitation. And he was the goofy one who was the Toa of air. Only after all 6 Kanohi are found will the Toa's true power be realised. This is Pacific Islander Captain Planet, isn't it? Each of the Toa has their own adventure to find their individual mask, and each must face challenges that test their strength, wits, and character flaws. You just know that the cool loner guy is going to learn the importance of teamwork. I suppose. I mean, we've established what sort of intellectual level we're on. The Toa eventually find all the masks and descend deep into... Well, sped through that particular adventure, didn't we? They eventually find all the masks and descend deep into Makuta's lair, where they're met with massive new monsters that threaten to overpower them all sold separately. But fear not, the Toa are made of Lego parts, and using the power of ripping their own limbs off, 3 of the Toa merge into one massive Toa Kaita. In fact, 2 sets of 3 Toa merge into Toa Kaita. I wonder how they discovered they had this ability. Did one of them just casually decide to start ripping everyone's limbs off and forming them together into hideous, stitched-together human centipede monstrosities, and then discovered that they acquired some new secret power from doing this? I imagine the others would have had mixed feelings about that discovery, but I guess you couldn't be mad at the guy. Pohatu, Onua, and Tahu combined to form Akamai, and Gali, Lewa, and Kapoka combined to form Wairua, like it fucking mattered. Using the power of the Toa Kaita, the Toa are able to defeat all the creatures and finally face off against the evil Makuta, who initially takes on the form of a small Mataran. A battle ensues with Makuta challenge all the darkness within him to enfeeble the Toa, but the Toa have learned the true meaning of unity, teamwork, and lasers. The heroes of legend work together to shoot Makuta with all the elemental energy at once, banishing him from Matanoui, the island. So in other words, they destroyed God with the power of friendship. I think I see how they got video games out of this. Even though they won the day, there was still no sign of Matanoui, the spirit. Not long after their supposed victory over Makuta, a strange earthquakes began sprouting up all around Matanoui, the island. Taking time away from the celebration, a chronicler of Matanoui, the spirit and the island, named Takua, investigates the Kininui temple. Well, that's new.
JettKuso!
Badger your parents to buy you the Kininui temple, kids, and stumbles upon a series of strange hexagonal shapes. Touching one of the shapes, he awakens a new threat, the Bohrok.
The Bohrok carry a hidden secret, a power so strong that even the fate of the Toa is threatened. The power of the Krana.
The Bohrok are an insect-like species that swarm together to destroy everything in their path. Similar to both the Toa and the villages, the Bohrok have elemental differences. Tarnok, the Bohrok of fire, Garlok, the Bohrok of water, Levak, acid? Where'd acid come from? I guess they have acid instead of air. Well, the dude who's like the elemental of air must feel fucking left out when they have a big battle royale with these lads. Parak Stone, Nuvok the Bohrok of Earth, and Korak Bohrok of Ice. Don't commit these names to memory, because I certainly fucking won't. Inside each Bohrok is a parasite-like brain that is also a mask, called a Krana. If the Krana is removed, it turns the Bohrok inert, but the Krana can also attach itself to Mataran or even Toa. This would control a Toa as easily as a Bohrok. Ooh, detachable accessories, kids. In an effort to fight back against the Bohrok, the Mataran assembled boxors, not the underpants, which were basically mech suits built on the husks of Bohraks. I guess in that case they must have incorporated underpants. Once the Krana was removed, needing to find answers, the Toa journeyed deep into the Bohrok nest to find out who was controlling them. What they discovered were the twin Bohrok queens, Kardok and Gardok, massive creatures who ordered their legion to attack and kill the Toa. And what were their elements, Jack? You didn't say what their elements were. I'm gonna guess that Kardok and Gardok had the elemental powers of vanilla and chocolate. Cookies and cream. Cagney and Lacey. Using the Krana, the Toa were able to find powerful exosuits. What, separately to the exosuits they already had? All sold separately again? That were mysteriously hidden in the Bohrok nests. The Toa then became Exo-Toa, but soon realized that their new suits, though powerful, were draining their energy too fast. Shedding their armor. Yeah, I look forward to finding all those lost bits of armor between the couch cushions for the next 10 years, parents. The Toa had to once again combine their elemental power in new ways. Why don't they just lead with that, you know? They blasted the twin queens with energy, creating a powerful new element, protodermis. That's not how elements work. This energy imprisoned Kardok and Gardok and severed their ties to the hive mind, but just then the cave collapsed and the Toa fell into the energized protodermis. Being bathed in such a powerful and volatile substance, okay, I'm gonna guess that this enabled them to create a whole new line of armor that the kids would have to badger their parents for.
From great victories, mighty heroes arise. Meet Toa Nuva.
Hey, called it. Empowering their weapons and charging up their elemental powers. This change turned the Toa into the Toa Nuva. Wait, I thought they were the Exo-Toas. So now they're the Exo-Toa Nuvas? Or are they the Toa Exo Nuva? I don't know. But once again, their celebration is cut short. So much so that we didn't even have time to mention that they were having a celebration, apparently. The same cave-in that upgraded the Toa Nova also awakened 6 elite Bohrok called the Bohrok-Kal. Oh, 6 of them, are they? Would they happen to have some kind of theme going, these particular Bohrok? Stronger and more deadly than the Bohrok-Kal also have individual minds and therefore aren't slaves to the hive mind. They are... Oh, wait a second, these are all new elements. Tarnok-Kal, Bohrok-Kal of electricity. He's really fun at parties. Galok-Kal, Bohrok-Kal of magnetism. Women find him inexplicably attractive. Levak-Kal, Bohrok-Kal of vacuum. He's useful to have around after a party. Parak-Kal, Bohrok-Kal of plasma. He makes a lot of money going to donation facilities. Novok-Kal, Bohrok-Kal of gravity, who says lots of very important things, and Korak-Kal, Bohrok-Kal of Sonics, who develops a lot of very shitty video games. The Bohrok-Kal steal the Nuva symbols from the Toa Nuva, removing their elemental powers. Oh shit, reset. Writer's note, I'm not sure if this turns the Toa Nuva back into regular Toa, as they're still referred to as Toa Nuva and still have their new armor, but they are weaker, I guess. I mean, we established the elemental powers and the armor were kind of different things, I guess? But what the fuck do I know? The local Matsuran came up with a plan to help the newly enfeebled Toa Nuva. They reprogrammed the smaller Bohrok and create a giant army to fight against the Bohrok-Kal. This does not go well, as the Bohrok-Kal, Bohrok-Kal, used their gravity powers to lift all the smaller Bohrok into space and make them come crashing down into meteors, in a move colloquially known as the reverse rapture. The Toa even tried transforming into their fused forms, now known as the Wairuha forms. Fucking hell. So how many prefixes have we added on now? Exo, Wairuha, Toa Nuva. Jesus Christ, it's like reading aloud the names of Polynesian train stations. Only to be countered by a fusion form of the Bohrok-Kal known as Bohrok-Kal Kaitaja. Ooh, 2 suffixes. You know that one means business. After Pohatu and Onua, I've completely forgotten who those were, but never mind, were able to take down one of the Bohrok-Kal, they questioned the Krana-Kal that was inside. Now, the Krana-Kal was the mask, wasn't it? Did they just strap it to a chair? Shine a spotlight in its eyes? They discovered that the Bohrok-Kal knew where the queens were being imprisoned and that their purpose in life was to free the Bohrok queens if they were ever imprisoned. The Toa rushed into the caverns to confront the Bohrok-Kal, only to discover that their lost exosuits had already been there, protecting the prison. They seemed to be placed there by some mysterious person. Ooh, how coy. The Bohrok-Kal easily destroyed the Exo-Toa suits, oh, thank goodness, another reset, and began ripping apart the Protodermis prison using the Nuva symbols that they had stolen from the Toa Nuva. Just then Tahu used a secret weapon, the Kanohi Vahi, the Mask of Time, which was gifted to him by Turaga Vakama of the Takoro village. Just roll with it, I am. This mask has the power to slow down or even stop time. The Toa Nuva used this to devise a plan. Because the Toa Nuva are all really slow thinkers, I guess. They poured their remaining power into the stolen Nuva symbols, causing the energy to feed back into the Bohrok-Kal. This energy surge destroyed the Bohrok-Kal, leaving the Bohrok queens still imprisoned, and the Toa Nuva's elemental powers were restored. I keep wanting to read that as Barack Obama. After a small celebration, well, we've learned it's important to keep your celebrations short in this universe. Life on Matanoui, the island, returned to normal until Takua, that chronicler of Matanoui the island and Matanoui the spirit, stumbled upon a strange rock totem. Oh, Christ. While freeing the rock totem, it slipped into lava that happened to be there and revealed a great Kanohi mask. He found the Kanohi Avoki, otherwise known as the Mask of Light. It gives you all the powers of the protagonist of Death Note. Taking the mask to the elders, it was determined that this mask meant there was a 7th Toa somewhere on Matanoui, the island. Well, where the fuck were they throughout all this? The elders tasked Takua and his friend Jala to quest across Matanoui, the island, to find the 7th Toa, who must presumably have the elemental power of sleeping in. Meanwhile, Makuta sensed that the Mask of Light had been found and plotted to destroy it and its messengers. Makuta raised his most vile creatures yet, the Rakshi. Oh, another round.
Created by Makuta and brought to life by the Krata. Alert, extremely powerful, agile, determined, unstoppable.
There are 6 Rakshi, each containing a deadly power. Gurak, Rakshi of disintegration. He's in charge of closing down failed businesses. Kurak, Rakshi of anger. He's in charge of being cross of things. I can't work with that one. Layrak, Rakshi of poison. They're in charge of 80s hair metal. Panrak, Rakshi of fragmentation. They're in charge of grenades. Turak, Rakshi of fear. And Vorak, Rakshi of hunger, who between them are in charge of really upsetting indie games. The Rakshi attacked the lava village of Takaro, destroying it and poisoning the Toa Nuva Tahu. Well, I suppose old Mr. Disintegration and Mr. Poison were putting in their A-game there. Meanwhile, Takua and Jala travel to Leiwahi and are attacked by an ash bear. That's a bear that cosplays as Bruce Campbell. But are saved by the Toa Nuva Leiwa. Yes, I remember him. He was the goofy one who was into air. He travels with them to Kowahi and they meet with the Toa Nuva Kopaka, forgotten who they are, but the Rakshi arrive and the group of heroes are quickly overpowered. Kopaka defeats the Rakshi by plunging them into a sea and freezing it. Okay, I guess they were ice then. Thanks for clarifying. Jala and Takua travel to Onukoro, where Takua meets Makuta Pteridax, who is a ghost-like version of Makuta. I guess that's the variant one made out of transparent plastic, kids. Makuta Pteridax separates Takua from Jala and stirs fear into Takua. But he's not the Rakshi of fear. What's he doing messing around with fear? I think this island needs some sort of redundancy commission, telling him that Jala will die if they find the 7th Toa. Takua, in an effort to save Jala, purposely starts a fight with Jala in an effort to abandon the quest. I mean, I feel like there were probably easier ways. Jala breaks away from Takua and arrives in Onukoro, just as the Rakshi, Kurak, Vorak, and Turak... Hang on. Anger, hunger, and fear. Okay, the two emotional ones and the one bodily process-related one. Takua notices this and joins Jala to flee. The Toa Nuva join the fight against the Rakshi, saving Takua and Jala, but Tahu gets hit by Kurak's staff and is filled with an unnatural and dark anger. Tahu turns against the other Toa Nuva and begins to battle all of them. Kopaka freezes Tahu, as the rest of the Toa Nuva barely survive against the Rakshi. The Toa Nuva, with a frozen Tahu, flee to Onukoro-to. It's a city in Japan, isn't it? In the jungle, Kopaka and Gali manage to cure the poisoned Tahu Nuva. In the meantime, Takua tells Jala about what Makuta Teridax said, warning that finding the 7th Toa could mean Jala's death. Anyone still keeping up with all these names officially has my congratulations. Jala consoles his friend and accepts his fate if it means brings peace to Matanoui, the island. They resolve to pick their quest back up. They grab the Mask of Light and reach the Kininui Temple at the very centre of Matanoui, the island, and are ambushed by the Rakshi. The Toa arrive but are matched equally by the dangerous Rakshi. Yeah, of course they are. They've all got elements. All they can do is buy Takua and Jala time. Do you think they were fighting the elements they're equal to, or were they fighting the elements they're strong against? Is it like Pokemon? Like the fire dude should fight the ice dude and the water dude should fight the fire dude? But then who fights the earth dude? What's strong against earth? Grass. That doesn't help. Is there a fairy type Bionicle? Tarak, the Rakshi of Fear, breaks through the Toa Nuva and attacks Takua with a deadly blow. But Jala sacrifices himself and takes the full brunt of the hit, saving Takua. Takua, realizing his fate, puts on the Mask of Light and transforms into Toa Nuva, the Toa of Light. Sold separately, kids.
Toa of Light on the final journey to meet his destiny and save the inhabitants of Matanoui.
He easily destroys the Rakshi, again, should have led with that, and builds himself a vehicle, sold separately, kids, to travel to Makuta's lair. Inside, he battles Makuta. It is an epic battle of light versus dark, and as they fight, Makuta attempts to explain that raising Matanoui, the spirit, will upset the balance of Matanoui, the island. Well, fair enough. I mean, you can't have two Matanouis around. What if someone said, "Hey, Matanoui," and then both the person and the island would go, "Yes," and that'd just be confusing. I'm tired. I'm just tired of it all, boss. Toa Nuva doesn't believe anything Makuta says, and continues the brawl. The island elders catch up to the Toa Nuva and realise that in order to wake Matanoui, the spirit, they would need to go into the Cave of Darkness. Well, you can't really have a cave of not darkness, can't you? I think darkness is the default form of caves. So they, along with the Toa Nuva, descend. They make it just in time to see the final struggle between Makuta and Toa Nuva. In an attempt to rip the Mask of Shadows off of Makuta, Toa Nuva plunges them both into a pool of energized protodermis. And how was that supposed to remove the mask, Makuta? That was just gonna paste it on harder, if anything. This fuses both entities into one, and creates a new Kaita, Toa Nuva. That's the one that comes in the big box, kids. A being of both light and shadow, Toa Nuva uses their new immense power to open an ancient gate hidden in Makuta's lair. A portal to the 10,000-year-old city, Matanoui. With this energy from the past, Toa Nuva is able to bring Jala back from the dead, but having spent all their strength reviving Jala, Toa Nuva could no longer hold up the massive gate and was crushed under its weight, leaving only the Mask of Light behind. The Toa Nuva and the village elders used their own energy and the Mask of Light. I thought they lost that when they all merged into one being. Surely it would be the Mask of Light and Dark now. Isn't that what Rorschach used to wear? To revive Toa Nuva so the 7 Toa could finally, after long last, awaken Matanoui, the spirit, bringing peace and harmony to Matanoui, the island. So I guess awakening the spirit didn't cause disharmony at all, and that guy was stringing them along. I'd just like it noted that I've been reading his name for the last 3 pages and I completely didn't register at what point Jala was introduced, and yet they seem to be important. Well, I think the lesson we've learned from all this is that whether you're a being of fire, or water, or ice, or fear, or darkness, or poison, or disintegration, or whatever it was, we're all equal when lodged in the bare foot of an unsuspecting dad. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking around to the end. Whatever drove you to do that. If you enjoyed this lore read, I've also got a new one that's exclusive to our Patreon members, covering the lore of Dead by Daylight of all things. This video was a Patreon exclusive at 1.2, and we've got quite a few over there now, covering shit like Darksiders and Friday the 13th movies. So if you're feeling furiously FOMO'd right now, hop on over to patreon.com/secondwindgroup and consider giving a tiny, measly, barely noticeable monthly payment to help sustain the existence of this thing you like. I know money's tight for a lot of people right now, but if you are feeling bad about the world and our funny videos in any way ease your troubles, maybe think of it as an investment in your future, because you'll be less likely to have a massive rage-induced heart attack.
On the island of Matanoui, 6 mighty heroes rise against evil. To succeed, they must find the masks of power. Join their quest against evil. Discover their skills. Use their masks. Bionicle. Find the power. Live the legend.